Good morning, students. We are beginning a new chapter called cardiovascular disease of the systemic pathology. The first class will be on rheumatic heart disease. I am Professor Dr. Tushar Kantidas taking your class. Next, the list of key concepts in this rheumatic heart disease. First, we will define what is rheumatic heart disease. Next, the characteristics, the pathogenesis, the morphology, the clinical picture, Ashup's body, laboratory diagnosis, prognosis, treatment and complication. So, these are the today's agenda. Next, what is rheumatic heart disease? This is defined as multisystemic immune-mediated disease caused by group A beta hemolytic streptococci, presents with fever, joint pain and cardiac involvement. So, this is a passive disease caused by bacteria through the immune-mediated pathway. Next, this disease is characterized by the age group are children between 5 to 15 years. They have got streptococcal sore throat infection that is very common in them, and most of the children, they live in damp, crowded environment. They are from low socio-economic background, and recurrence of sore throat is a very common implicating factor. The presence with fever and fleeting joint pain. Fleeting joint pain means the joint involvement travels from one big joint to another big joint. One inflamed big joint subsides, then another joint is affected. Next, the pathogenesis of the disease is very important. That means how the disease proceeds from the first day to the full-blown manifestation. So, as I said earlier, that it is preceded by streptococcal pharyngitis 2 to 3 weeks back, and only 3 to 4% of cases they present with rheumatic fever. Here the bacteria does not cause direct damage to the heart. The main important implicating factor is antigenic mimicry. The molecular structure of the streptococcal cell membrane, that is the M protein, is same as that of human myocardial cell, the sarcolemmal cell. That's why they are, due to this similarity in cross antigenicity, the heart cells, the myocytes, they are affected. We will get anti-streptolysin antibody which cross-reacts with the heart muscle. Also, the CD4 helper cell, they are also supposed to have a role in this pathogenesis. Next, the morphology of the disease. It affects the heart. Heart means the pericardium, the myocardium and the endocardium. In pericardium, if it affects all the layers of the heart, we call it pancarditis. That is diffuse inflammation in all 3 layers. If it affects pericardium, we call it bread and butter pericarditis. Here, a fibrinoid inflammatory exudate collects inside the visceral and parietal pericardium. Next is myocarditis, that is inflammation of the myocardium. Here we get inflammation and dilatation of the all valve rings. endocarditis, there is inflammation, edema, and verruca or verrucae formation. Verrucae are nothing but small nodular irregular surfaced lesion on the valve rings. Ashap's body, it is a granuloma-like inflammatory granuloma-like condition which you can see in any part of the heart, just like it is equivalent to granular tuberculosis. It can be found in the heart or in the extracardiac sites. Another very important diagnostic lesion is McCallum's patch. Here the spelling is slightly wrong. It will be 1C. So what is it? It is a map-like thickening on the posterior wall of the left atrium. So next is fish mouth appearance of the mitral valve. The valve leaflets, due to thickening and fusion, they have the appearance of fish mouth. So there are constriction, there is obstruction in the mitral valve opening. Next, clinical picture. We are having major criteria and minor criteria. In major criteria, we are having carditis, polyarthritis, subcutaneous nodule, chorea, erythema marginatum. In minor criteria, we are having fever, increased ESR, C-reactive protein, arthralgia, history of previous rheumatic fever, prolonged PR interval in ECG. So for diagnosis, either we require two major criteria or we require one major and two minor criteria. Next, this is the pathognomonic lesion of rheumatic heart disease, the Ashap's body. This is cardiac muscle, and inside, apart from inflammatory cell, the Ashap's body are also seen. This is just like inflammatory granuloma of tuberculosis. We will discuss it in the next display. Next. So what are the things Ashap's granuloma comprise of? One is fibrinoid necrosis, second is Ashap's giant cell, third is macrophages, that is Annet's-Koh cell, fourth is lymphocytes and plasma cell. So this is just like equivalent to a tuberculous granuloma, where there is also epithelioid cell or macrophages, giant cell and necrosis. Next, this picture shows a inflamed big joint, that is knee joint, which is very swelled up, red and hot, and the other, you can compare the other knee joint, which is a normal one. So rheumatic fever, it affects joints, it affects heart, it presents with fever. Next, one of the minor criteria for rheumatic heart disease is PR interval. So this is a fragments of a ECG strip which shows what PR interval is. So this PR interval will be prolonged in rheumatic heart disease. Next, this is a section of the heart cut open showing verrucous lesion. Or we also call it rheumatic vegetations. You can see small yellowish grey nodule on the valve leaflets, which has got a very rough outer surface. So these are nothing but small nodular lesion. It is devoid of any bacteria. This is sterile. Next. So laboratory diagnosis of rheumatic fever will have anti-streptolysin O or ASO in common parlance, which increases in early stage of the rheumatic fever. If we do culture from throat, we can isolate group A Streptococcus. This is a second laboratory parameter. First is ASO titer. Third is increased acute phase reactant, that is increased erythrocyte sedimentation rate or increased C-reactive protein. Fourth is, though this is not done very often, that is anti-DNS-B titer. Anti-DNS-B titer. So these are the 4 parameters, laboratory parameters for diagnosis of the rheumatic fever. Next, what about prognosis? So we know that 75% of the acute attack subside within 6 weeks. Recurrence common within first 5 years if it is not treated properly. 70% of the carditis develop within first week of the disease. So as far as the first point is concerned, only 25% is going to suffer. 75% they subside within 4 to 6 weeks. Next, just one line about treatment. We give aspirin for subsidence of fever and joint pain, and penicillin either orally or in injectable form to prevent recurrence of sore throat. Next, so what are the complications of rheumatic fever? The first is mitral stenosis, regurgitation. Second is heart failure. Third is atrial fibrillation. Fourth is thromboembolism. So these are complications of rheumatic fever. So next, so this is the last slide. So in this chapter of rheumatic heart disease, you would prepare short notes or comments of Ashop's body, McCallum's patch and rheumatic vegetations. These 3 points are very important. Ashop's body, rheumatic vegetations and McCallum's patch. So if you prepare this, you will get it either in the form of short note or in comment section of your theoretical question. Thank you very much.